All right. Hi, everybody. I want to welcome Chris Berry to our show. He is a local certified elder law attorney. He is based in Brighton, and he is here today to help me with a question that I've had many of my clients ask me. And that is, how can I really structure my planning, my legal planning, so that I can provide for long-term nursing care if that comes up, or if a family member gets Alzheimer's, that these costs monthly in the nursing care facilities can be $8,000 to $14,000 per month. So, Chris, can you share with us what are some of the things that can be done by a certified elder law attorney to address these concerns?
Sure. Yeah. So thank you. And so as a certified law attorney, we're not just focused upon what happens when you die. That's more of an estate planning question. That's important, but as a certified law attorney, we're also focused on what happens if we don't die, we continue to age, and we face all the issues that go along with aging. And so one of the big concerns a lot of my clients have is with regards to long-term care costs, as you brought it up. Because what we found is we don't go from healthy to passing away. We go through this aging process a lot of times, right? And so with that aging process and the longevity that we're all experiencing, there's things that happen, whether it's a stroke, whether it's getting diagnosed with Alzheimer's, whether it's dementia, Parkinson's, Huntington's disease, or just the frailties of aging. So as an elder law attorney, one of our focuses is not just about making sure your stuff goes where it's supposed to go when you die, but also making sure that your money and your assets last as long as you do. And looking at protecting against things like long-term care costs, because like I said, we find people don't go from healthy to passing away. They go through this elder care journey of maybe needing home care that could cost $1,000 to $3,000 a month, or assisted living, which could cost $2,000 to $5,000 a month, or assisted living with memory care, which is $5,000 to $8,000 a month. Or as you brought up, nursing home care, which 1 in 2 individuals will need nursing home care according to current statistics.
Right.
And the average cost of a nursing home in Michigan is $8,000 to $12,000, $13,000, $14,000 a month. So the question that we're answering a lot of times as elder law attorneys is not just what happens if I pass away, but what happens if me or my spouse needs long-term care, and how do we navigate that process?
All right, great, Chris. The second question I would like to get your input on is, we had been speaking about one of your clients who has a cottage up north
Yeah,
and is facing some issues and wants to really preserve that for their family as their legacy. They
sure.
received this great place from their parents, and you were talking about protecting that special legacy for them,
Mhm.
and telling me a little bit about the piggy bank idea.
Sure.
So will you
Yeah.
share that with everybody?
Yeah. So with a lot of our clients, and again, my goal isn't to make sure the kids get some big inheritance or anything like that. I want to make
Right.
sure that mom or dad or whoever it is gets the best care possible. But I do have a lot of situations, and we're in Michigan, and a lot of my families have properties up north where we have kids that have these amazing memories of every year going up north, and they just created these memories that really are the legacy that a lot of my clients want to pass down to the next generation or even the grandkids. And so the concern is always, how do we protect that legacy? And given the fact that now we have things like long-term care costs and nursing home care. So I was sharing how I had a client just today that I met with the kids of the parents, and the parents have this cottage up north where the kids have a lot of like great memories that they want to protect. And the parents, one of their number one goals is to be able to pass that down to the family. So that cottage, that up north cabin, remains in the family for their whole life. And so the concern is as mom and dad, as my clients age, what happens if one of them has a stroke, gets diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and needs long-term care? And so if we don't do anything, then they're going to have to pay $8,000 to $12,000, $13,000, $14,000 a month to pay for that care.
Right.
And they're going to have to sell that property up north because that's a countable asset. they're going to have to liquidate that property, sell it to pay for the care. And so as a certified elder law attorney, and this is really what we focus on, is we want to protect those things that are important. We talk about creating a plan, preserving what's important, protecting what's important. And so in this situation, what we're going to do is we're going to set up what we call a castle trust, which is different than a revocable living trust. A revocable living trust avoids probate, controls the distribution upon death. Estate planning attorneys do revocable living trusts. Relatively simple. Avoids probate, controls the distribution. But what we're doing is we're avoiding probate, controlling the distribution, and most important for this family that I was meeting with today is we're creating asset protection, where we're protecting the assets and the resources, that cottage or cabin they have up north, so that it stays in the family. And like we were talking about, think of it kind of like a piggy bank. What we're doing is we're putting this real estate into the piggy bank. We're putting their assets into the piggy bank. And because now it's in what we call a castle trust, which is different than a revocable living trust. Revocable living trust avoids probate, controls the distribution upon death. What this castle trust does is does all that, but now it protects it from that Medicaid or nursing home spend down. So even if one of the spouses were to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, just the frailties of aging, and now they needed nursing home care, what we've moved into the trust, that cottage up north where they have all this legacy, all these memories, can now be passed down to the family versus having to liquidate that to sell it to pay for long-term care costs. And that's really the difference between what a certified elder law attorney can offer in terms of planning opportunities, not just avoiding probate and making sure stuff goes where it's supposed to go, but protecting assets for your lifetime, to protecting its long-term care. And in this situation, we're protecting that legacy. Because what is the legacy that we want to leave to the next generation? Do we want to say that mom and dad had to sell everything to pay for nursing home care? Or do we want the legacy to say that, you know what, that place that we had all these amazing memories growing up, that's going to pass down to the next generation and the next generation after that. And that's really the difference between just planning for death versus planning for life and creating that legacy.
Right. It's definitely looking more intentionally at planning for longevity and getting the most out of your life. And who doesn't want to feel that they've taken that extra bit of consideration towards their loved ones to make sure that their wishes are granted as they would have it? So what I'm going to invite everyone to do is down in the comments below, we're going to put all of Chris's contact information. Feel free to reach out to him for more information and to see how really some of these tools can be utilized for your family. And thank you for joining us today.
Thanks.